why should someone consider using whole life insurance over traditional financing for business? So there's two categories. There's going and getting money that you currently don't have, like an SBA loan, other like getting business loans. I put that in a totally separate category than money access to equity that you have. So if I have equity in my home, getting a HELOC, I'm seeing that as a way to unlock some of my net worth. Life insurance is a form of unlocking some of my net worth. And obviously, money in a high yield savings account or checking account is a form of unlocking part of my net worth. So there's two categories. There's access to assets or part of my net worth, or access to actual debt and financing. There's nothing magical about taking a policy loan from a whole life insurance policy that poof creates magical money. This is capital that you've saved, you've paid premiums, and part of those premiums create cash value, and that cash value is available for you to use. But there's nothing magical about it. It's not like there's some crazy arbitrage where you're putting $100,000 of premium and boom, you get $1 million of capital. So I look at it as a more efficient place versus like maybe a savings, or I would rather tap into whole life insurance even than like a home equity, because I have more control, in my opinion, from the life insurance to things like home equity. But that's that category. If you're a business that needs or wants to go find other loans, or even if you're someone that wants to like see if you can set up business lines of credit that aren't based on collateral, those are actually new forms of money. And while I wouldn't want to rely on those, in a lot of cases they're higher interest and a lot of times they're harder hoops to jump through, some businesses they're necessary to do. And I do not think whole life insurance replaces your need or desire to want to get bank financing. You may like the idea of having that capital, just like someone paying off their debt with cash likes that. That same thing could happen with whole life insurance. And so I'm not anti that. But there's nothing magical about whole life insurance that's going to magically eliminate your need to not need to work with banks, especially if your business model or your need is for new money. So whether that's getting new investors or finding bank lending or raising money, those things may still be necessary. Whole life insurance may just give you more options and might get you to a place where you don't need those. But in the short term, it's not a magic fix.
Yeah, no, it's good. The only thing that I would add to that is the flexibility in regards to the repayment schedule for the loan functionality of it, right? And being able to, wait 6 months if you're a real estate investor to make the interest back until you actually sell your deal, or wait until the investment returns to the new employee that essentially turns over and produces a return. Being able to just get charged interest and not actually have to pay that out of pocket from a cash flow perspective can give a lot of peace of mind at the end of the day,
Yes.
knowing that your death benefit will pay off the loan if something were to happen to you. So I would say that that's, in my mind, one of the big perks that I would just add to that. And so,
Totally. Love it.
Okay, so let's move on. The next question is, I think for maybe somebody, I'm going to say a beginner, but this isn't somebody that already has an established business. It's, should you use whole life insurance to start a business? And now the question, I think, is a great question, because most people that are asking this question are starting to think about, like, should I even get a whole life policy in general, right? Likely, if you have a policy already and it's been in force for a little while, there's probably a good chance that you already have cash flow or a business that's already doing extremely well. And so this question probably is coming from somebody who's like, well, should I start a policy and fund it and then use that to start the business? If that's your question, the answer should likely be no. The answer should be, I should only use my whole life insurance policy to start a business if my policy is already established, I've had it for quite some time, and I don't have any other funds anywhere else to start the business for capital purposes. I don't think it's a good idea to have capital saved, put it in the policy, and then it be like, I don't have any cash flow to pay for the ongoing premiums, and the business might not actually even work. And then you're essentially having a problem for lapsing into the future. And so it's all per person. I'd say probably for the more sophisticated person that's had something for a while, maybe, but not to start from the beginning.
So Dom, you're saying if the policy is predicated on the business being successful to making sure that you can pay the premiums, it's almost like taking a very safe, solid asset, tying it to something that statistics are against you. And then
Yep.
if a policy lapses in the first couple of years, we've been very open, you're financially behind, like straight
Yep.
up. Like there's no, so I couldn't agree more is whole life, should you start a savings account to start a business? Well, no, you probably should already have a place of storing capital. So whole life insurance and savings accounts and all these things might play a role, but if you're just getting it and you're tying it to a business, especially before you even get started, that you're taking a very safe, solid asset, tying it to a very volatile asset, and as a result, not going to end well.